welcome back to another episode of GLGY News. On today's episode, we will be traveling all the way to the third largest island in the Caribbean Sea, Jamaica. In Jamaica, there is an arising concern of cadmium content in the soil. We are joined by Katrina Bielek, who will be giving us an in-depth look at this health issue.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us once again to learn about a topic of geology and how it affects human health. Today, we'll be jumping in to the topic of cadmium contents in the soils of Jamaica. Cadmium is a metallic contaminant found naturally in the Earth's core, often as a deposit of copper, lead, and zinc ores. Cadmium only has one oxidation state of +2, but can form ionic complexes with both organic and inorganic complexes. Water-soluble forms of cadmium are highly mobile and can be ingested or absorbed by aquatic animals. However, mobility of cadmium deposits in soil is dependent on environmental conditions of the soil, such as moisture and pH, and can be inhaled when present in dust or transferred by wind. Cadmium is widely investigated because of its toxicity to plants and the effects on human health. Diet is the main source of cadmium exposure. Most foods contain low concentrations of cadmium, but high concentrations may be found in mushrooms, liver, kidney, and shellfish. Cereals, especially the non-refined wheat products, rice, and vegetables often contain elevated cadmium concentrations. It seems likely that vegetarians have an increased intake of cadmium. Plant species and varieties differ extensively in their capacity to absorb and accumulate toxic metals. Lettuce, spinach, celery, and cabbage tend to accumulate relatively high concentrations of cadmium, whereas beans accumulate only low amounts of cadmium. In Jamaican soils, cadmium has been found in concentrations ranging from 0.3 milligrams per kilogram to over 400 milligrams per kilogram. The soil accumulates cadmium from natural sources such as the weathering of parent rock and anthropogenic sources such as mining activities and phosphate filterizer application. The soil cadmium levels found in geochemical studies of Jamaica are elevated relative to the world mean values. In general, the bioavailability of cadmium in soils is influenced by the absorption-desorption phenomena, which is linked to a complex variety of biotic and abiotic factors. These include pH, OM content, cation exchange capacity, quality and type of clay minerals, hydrous metal oxides such as iron, and redox potential. In plants, the accumulation of cadmium causes a reduction of biomass, growth, and a decrease in root growth chlorosis. Increased cadmium concentrations caused a decrease of 30% in the strawberry plant growth and had an effect on the net photosynthetic rate in tomato seeding. Cadmium has been classified as a human carcinogenic and has been associated with increased kidney damage, decreased lung function, and osteoporosis in adults. Some studies have shown that it can also have an effect on neurodevelopment in exposed children, including intellectual disabilities, decreased verbal IQ, and learning disabilities. Several techniques have been developed and adapted to treat heavy metals and toxic substances in the environment. Examples of these techniques are the conventional remediation techniques, which include phytoremediation, electrokinesis, bioremediation, and chemical washing. In the upcoming future, there is lots of faith that we can decrease the effects that cadmium has on human health. But for now, all we can do is wait. Back to you at the studio.
Thank you, Katrina, and thank you to all of our audience for joining us on today's segment of GLGY News. I'm Mila Watson. We'll see you next time.